Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the 20th annual Celebrate Invention here at the University of Michigan. This year's version has been a little different. Normally, we get to all get together in a great ballroom on Central Campus at the Michigan League. But this year, due to circumstances, we're spread out and celebrating in a virtual environment. But it's great to have you with us, whether you're here on campus in Ann Arbor or joining us from around the world. This afternoon, we have a very special virtual edition of the University of Michigan Tech Transfer Startup Bell Ringing. We're joined today by one of our great startups that we've helped launch this past year, BlueConduit. As you'll hear about in a minute, BlueConduit has launched technology that's helping address the Flint water crisis. It's an amazing example of how groundbreaking research from an academic lab can become the basis of a product or service that can be delivered into the market to actually address some of the world's greatest problems. And we're thankful to be a part of BlueConduit and to have them here to join us today. Now, you may be asking, what the heck is this bell ringing celebration? Here at the Tech Transfer Office, one of our principal values is to celebrate successes. So one of the things we try to do with bell ring celebrations is to celebrate the success of launching a new company that's based upon a discovery that was made in the University of Michigan laboratory. And that's what we're doing today with BlueConduit. The other thing we try to do with the bell ringing celebration is to recognize that we're part of a relationship that is still ongoing. We don't just support startups getting off the ground, but we continue to support them all the way through getting a product in the marketplace and hopefully for years to come. Whether it's helping them address changes to their license, helping them find partners, helping them find valuable employees, we try to be a consistent and stable partner for that startup for years to come. Before we begin and get to the bell ring, I'd like to run through some housekeeping items. First, this webinar is being recorded, and as a registered participant, you will later be receiving a link to watch this video. Hopefully you'll watch it again and again as we will. With that said, I'd like to turn things over to one of my great teammates, Dick Greeley.
Thank you, Bryce. When I talk with my inventors, I'm always looking to understand the types of impact that a new invention can have. Typically, I classify that impact into three general areas. Research impact, which is concerned with advancing knowledge, training students, and attracting funding. Societal impact, which is doing good work to help people. And economic impact, creating revenue for the company and the university, generating jobs. Each new technology comes with varying sets of potential impacts. When I first met with Eric and his team at the Ross School, I could immediately see that this had a lot of opportunity in all three areas, especially for societal impact. The Flint water crisis is a big problem. Their technology is a chance to help many cash-strapped municipalities manage their aging infrastructure. Having an impact in all these three areas is the equivalent, I guess, of the tech transfer trifecta. It's what we always look for. The licensing side of the equation was relatively straightforward. We wanted to make sure they had the rights to the intellectual property that would enable them to attract investment and move ahead without lingering issues. Our office has worked hard to put startup-friendly terms in place that allow everyone to share equitably in the returns. And this is borne out by the increase in the number of startups from our office over the last few years. They had many characteristics of a future successful business. A good team that worked well together, the right attitude towards knowing what they don't know, wanting to learn and accepting help, a large unmet market need and interested customers actually calling them, and they had forged partnerships and relationships that would be critical in going to market. But there are many questions still to be answered from the business side as they look to get a company off the ground. So I quickly turned to Chuck Cole and Don Manfredi of the Venture Center within Technology Transfer and got them involved. To continue the story, let me turn it over to Don.
Thanks a lot, Dick. So mentoring this team has been just an amazing experience, and it's very unique from the standpoint that they're both a mission-based organization, but they're harnessing high tech in order to achieve that mission. The other thing that's amazing about this team is they're extremely open, very high energy, enthusiastic, and have been a lot, very much like sponges as far as taking on the business side of this. BlueConduit's harnessing the power of machine learning to improve human health and well-being, and they're making a significant impact already. And for me, I believe the sky's the limit. So I consider them kind of a unicorn in my portfolio of startups that I work with, because they touch so many different facets and they have such a versatile offering to help improve human and health. So I look forward to working with them in the future and to their continued success. And at this point, I'd like to turn it over to co-founder Eric Schwartz.
Thanks, Don. And hi, everyone. Thank you really to the entire Office of Tech Transfer office and really the Office of the VP for Research. Thank you for all the support and for recognizing us. What I want to do in my quick remarks here is quickly tell you a bit of the story of how I went from research to business, and then a little bit about what OTT has really meant to us and to me personally as well. This really started as my goal as an academic, as a young assistant professor, as I was for the first few years. I want to do interesting and challenging research and work on important problems. I've always had an interest in doing some social good with that intellectual and academic desire. And in 2016, as Jake Abernathy, my other co-founder, who's listening in now, not at University of Michigan, but at Georgia Tech, and I were here learning about Flint, we got involved and started conversations with folks on the ground, folks in the government, nonprofit organizers, and realized that there was a key question that people in Flint didn't know the answer to. And that was shocking, was how many homes actually have lead, the lead that was poisoning children in Flint in the water supply, and which homes had lead. And the short story, over the past 4 years, we have been able to help and continue helping the city of Flint by using data, by using machine learning, by then prioritizing which homes likely have lead to the top of the list to get their lead water pipes replaced. But what's been interesting about the story of BlueConduit is really where we've taken it from there. And before I toss it off to Ian to tell that story, I do want to reflect a little bit more about how we actually could even potentially think about a business. And that was, as I think Dig mentioned, after we started doing this in Flint, there was some media and other cities and other utility companies started reaching out to us, to me and Jake, on our university email accounts. And I looked at Jake and we looked at each other. We said, I think we should talk more seriously about this business idea. And only around then, about 18 months ago, it was just 18 months, I believe, Dick and I sat down, maybe even more recently than that, and started talking really seriously about what that would look like, what that could mean. Maybe it was only 12 months ago, Dick. And, with OTT, I had been hearing this term startup friendly. But what does it really mean to be startup friendly? Well, I'll tell you what that means. This launch has been an outstanding process. We've been gradually moving through the organization really seamlessly. We started with Dick. Then I realized, Dick works with Bryce, and Bryce helped us out. And then spoke with Chuck, and Chuck brought it. And Don came in. And then Don linked us to a whole network of mentors, which I think I can just call the Daves collectively. And every conversation, Jake and I, and now Ian and I have been left with, okay, that was really helpful. That was really informative. And we are learning. I'm a business school professor. I'm not a businessman exactly. But perhaps I'm starting to get there. And I think back to these early conversations, and I really did not imagine it would end up as far as this. I owe that tremendously to the kind of talent that we can attract, that we can get someone like Ian Robinson to really take the organization when Jake and I have full-time academic jobs, now tenured. And that's because of U of M. It's because of our network and because of the everything around the organization still has U of M around it. And so we can attract the greatest data science talent. We can attract the greatest software developers. That's easy. Just last week on a call with a potential big customer and potential partner, that's where their eyes lit up, that we can bring that kind of skill and talent to the table to allow our product and theirs to scale. So with that, I'll stop and let Ian Robinson tell the story of how we've gone from really a completely not a customer, just a good social good project coming out of the university into Flint, into something bigger in a business. And I should also want to recognize that I'm a marketing professor at Ross. And by having these conversations, it has also enhanced the way that I interact with students, interact in the classroom. And the school and my area have been tremendously supportive, and appreciate that as well. So Ian.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Eric. And thank you so much to the Office of Tech Transfer. I joined this process a year ago and have been fully supported. And so much of the progress that we have made has been as a result of the great advice and insight that Don and the other mentors from Office of Tech Transfer have shared with us. So thank you very much. And to pick up the story of where Eric left off of, there were other cities that have reached out to them about replicating the work that they had done in Flint. That's what we've been doing for the last year. In the year since the company was founded, we have been working with a large utility on the East Coast and many other cities, now ones that serve over 700,000 residents, actively replicating the process from Flint, helping them locate their lead service lines in a more efficient way. And the results of the models that we've been producing have been equal or greater to what was being done in Flint, which means that the social benefit of the work that the team is doing in Flint is completely aligned with the growth of the business as well. And in addition to that, we've been able to continue to grow our team, expanding from just 2 full-time employees to more than about 8 or so full-time equivalents between different contractors, expanding our data science side, expanding our software team, and then expanding our business development work. As we look to the future, we are excited to continue to do business development and work with more utilities. We have a strong pipeline of both cities and engineering consulting firms that are working through to provide this service. We continue to work to be subject matter experts in the field of water analytics and AI and machine learning and water. Just before this call, actually, we were presenting at the largest water conference specifically about how can utilities better use AI and machine learning to do this work. We continue to build the right partnerships with different environmental policy groups to make sure that we are at the right table, asking the right questions to make sure that this work is done right, so that we can grow the lead service line business of working, not growing the lead service line business, growing the work of helping cities work through their lead service line replacement projects, and then beginning to look at what else we can do as a company in terms of how we can leverage our experience in the lead service line replacement work to help with other water questions, other public health questions where our team's data science expertise can be used. And then I'd say one other thing over the last year is that as the team's work in Flint in terms of predicting pipes has been reduced as the city gets close to the end of its replacement project, the team's commitment to making sure that this information is used to expedite the replacement of pipes continues. We released a public-facing map that communicates information about where pipes are and where pipes were in a public health first way, which is another type of tool that we're able to use as we communicate with other cities. So really taking this work and continuing to have that impact that cities and engineering firms realize has great value for them. So with that, I'll pass it off to Bryce to continue with this, but thank you once again to Office of Tech Transfer for all of their support in this work.
Well, that was great. Thank you, Eric and Ian, once again for your great success and for giving us the opportunity to just be a small part of helping you out. So now we've come to the moment you've all been waiting for. We get to see the BlueConduit team ring the bell. Now, under normal conditions, we're in the office, and people will come from far and wide across the campus and sometimes beyond to join us for these bell ringing ceremonies. And we have an actual bell that hangs in our office, the startup bell. It's not just any bell. It's probably the finest bell east of the Burton Bell Tower on Central Campus. And you know, everyone who's rung it has commented on the quality and the sound. We've had to get a little creative, and so we've allowed Eric and Ian to select their own bell. So now I will hand it over to them. And Eric, Ian, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Go ahead and ring that bell.
But before ringing, again, just the ability to leverage academic work, the resources of the university to make a social impact through the vehicle of business to do good is tremendous, and I appreciate the opportunity. So let me leave you all with some wishes. After all, I am an applied statistical machine learning researcher, and to start off the whole year, let me give you some wishes. May your learning be active and sequential. May your decision-making under uncertainty be data-driven. May your models be well-validated. May your algorithms be transparent. May your data sets be representative. May your team be productive and happy. May your water be clean and affordable. And with that, go blue and go BlueConduit.
Go Blue.
That was
Thank you, Bryce. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you to the whole team.
great, Eric and Ian. You look like a veteran bell ringer there.
Practicing all day.
Right. We also appreciate the great words. That was far and away the most inspiring comments we've had on the cusp of the bell ringing. So thank you.
Felt inspired. Thank you.
Well, once again, thank you for joining us today. You know, thank you for the BlueConduit team for giving us the chance to help them out and for all the great work you're doing in the world. You know, thank you for Dick and Don and others for helping out. Just some last housekeeping comments. You will be receiving a link to this session. Please feel free to share it with your friends or colleagues or others. If you are joining us from around the world, please be safe and come visit us in Ann Arbor as soon as you're able to. And if you're joining us from on campus and there's any way that we can help you out, just let us know. That's what we're here for. We know there's many other potential BlueConduits out there in university labs, and we'd love to have the chance to help you out. Thanks, everybody.